been a little while since I've done a single weapon run. It's also been a little while since I've looked at shields. So I think this is just the item to check off both of those boxes. Compared to every other shield in the game, the Spike Shield is just a huge damage powerhouse. Even like its closest cousin, the Frontline Shield, kind of pales in comparison to how much damage this thing can output. Now, some of the other shields might be able to match it to a certain extent if you have a decent amount of enemies around you. Something like the Blood Shield or the Punishment can compare. And Counter Shield obviously does much better against stuff like projectiles. But if you're just looking for pure raw damage output, I mean, the description says it all here. Inflicts major damage on blocked enemies. And being that this is one cell mode and don't have to deal with stuff like melees, and I am going to obviously be building a survival-based build. That's the only thing that this thing even works off of. Having this block enemies may be sometimes a more optimal solution if I think that the parry timing is a little too difficult or anything like that. Obviously, though, parry's going to be the number one thing. I mean, if you're going full-on shield gameplay, if you are going to be throwing up... there we are. You're going to be throwing up a shield in front of you at all points in time. You're obviously going to want to go for the parries. That's just not only a lot more damage, but also a lot of the... I guess I don't actually have any of the affixes that work specifically on parry. Require that you get... I'm a little mad. Require that you get parries rather than just a single block. And if you do get a parry, if you do get some of those affixes, shields can obviously be some of the best synergistic enablers in the entire game. Stuff like set enemies on fire, set enemies on poison, set enemies on oil, set enemies on freeze. I mean, they all work super well if you manage to get those affixes there. Of course, it does require that you do the parrying properly, which can be a little bit difficult. Not tremendously so. It's not in some other games like a frame-perfect sort of trick. Parrying in this game in Dead Cells is actually pretty forgiving. Let's just say forgiving. If you, pretty much if you're holding out that shield anytime before an enemy actually strikes you, you are pretty much guaranteed to get a parry. I mean, you have to do it like way too early or, you know, nice. Or get hit. Okay, nice. Or actually get hit to completely fail a parry. The window is huge, is what I'm saying. Now, I do have the attacking just after a parry inflicts 300% damage. I don't know if that works with shield hits. I mean, it used to actually be... I mean, back in the day when, you know, blocking wasn't even a thing and you literally could only ever parry with a shield, I think that the 300% actually applied to the hit that you were dealing, and it took Motion Twin, let's just say, a little while to fix that. These days, I don't know if that means that the second hit that I get off of a... Awesome. The second hit that I get off of a parry is going to be doing 3 times damage. I kind of hope so. It's a lot of damage. There we are. See, pretty forgiving. And yes, you can, in fact, parry kamikaze bats. It's just usually, especially on higher cell difficulty, you generally have an affix that shoots out an arrow or shoots out a grenade, which kind of stops that from happening. It's too bad because some of the synergistic potential, like, for example, victims freeze other enemies, can be lost because I don't think that applies to the arrow. I don't think that applies to the arrow. I'm not sure. Yeah, once you... Let me tell you, it's just like I have nearly 850 hours in this game. I'm hoping... Wow, that's actually not a bad throws. I'm hoping that I can get most of the parries here. It's just the timing there was impeccable, wasn't it? Anyway. Kind of hope that I get some non-scrolls of power coming up here. Despite having 8 survival, which is great and everything, I am maybe... Well, run invalidated. I am kind of running out of... Or I am kind of running a little bit low on health, all things considered. Ooh. That was the wrong option for a parry. If I was fast enough, I could have probably... Yeah. Well, do this a little bit better. There we are. Yeah, if I was a little bit faster, I probably could have gotten a double parry, but whatever. Making sure that guy got... Alright, so the other one doesn't have a... Yes. Oh, good. Yeah, the other shield doesn't have a throws down grenade, because that's getting a little irritating. Well, this is stupid. I'm just gonna... Still can't attack me. Okay, well, anyway, whatever. Being on 1 cell difficulty, this is also going to be a little bit lighter on the necklaces, so getting stuff like... Actually, seriously, kind of considering taking one of these, but no! I want to get as much damage as possible. I was kind of also hoping that maybe that wasn't too bad, actually. I was also kind of maybe hoping that I could get a stat that wasn't survival on this necklace. Well... Look... I might want other stats right now. By the time I get to the end of the game, it's going to be all about survival. So you just wait for that. 1 hit is not too bad to take this out anyway. And also, it's only 1 cell difficulty. I really don't have too much of an issue with actually healing using my... Get over here. Actually healing using my potion, too. I guess it just doesn't have room to do anything. Oh, that's... I did not know that worked like that when you find a, nested area with... First off, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't even know that those things... I didn't even know that challenge rifts could appear in cell doors. And apparently they have special interactions which force stuff out of... I mean, cell doors can never close because you can't, you know, dynamically change your... A good example to see, like, frame data of every single enemy in the game, if nothing else. Runners, no surprise, attack faster than zombies. Oh, yes. One of the important things to talk about every single time in these runs. This is dropped by meat cleavers. Or just I think they're just called cleavers. They're the big, fat, blue armored guys that are essentially identical to axe throwers, axe throwing armor, axe armors. That's what they're called. Axe armors from the old Castlevania games. So if you're looking for that, go into... So if you're looking for the actual blueprint for this item... First off, again, I'm fine to do that. So if you're actually looking for the blueprint for this item, you are looking for... it's not better enough. If it was actually two stats, I would take it. Stilt Village, Forgotten Sepulcher. 2 places that I know they appear pretty commonly. Can't really think of where else they are. I mean, at least like Stilt Village is usually the one that I think of when it comes to getting this sort of thing. I don't know, I'll say this right now. Doing pretty good for damage. I am definitely not disappointed with the output here. Of course, again, it's just, especially on 4-cell mode, you get such a ridiculous... Okay, so I guess it's actually really just... Yeah, like... I'm not entirely sure how the 300% damage works. I saw like a little thing appear above my head for 1 second, and then it didn't, and then I don't know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The 300% extra damage is not going to be too bad. Yeah, 4-cell mode, you get melees, it makes it a little bit difficult to want to do parries, knowing that you're going to be taking you're going to be taking really bad damage, especially for any sort of survival-based run, which if you're primarily using a shield for damage in a 4-cell run, you're going to probably want to... This is a really bad idea. There's shockers down here. I can't parry those guys. But, yeah, if you're using that as a primary shield, you're probably going survival, and then melees become so much bigger of a deal than taking a little bit of extra... poison, I guess. A little bit of extra damage in... You know, HP-wise. Spite feels like pretty obvious. Buff up the projectile damage that I'm dealing off this a little bit more. And aside from that, say that this is at least good for mutations for once, doing a shield-focused run. There's a lot of good shield mutations. Not a lot of good at pretty much anything else, though. So I guess what I'm going to have to... This is pretty much going to be a very similar run to the... Frontline shield, except You know, and don't have the 300% at least automatically. I do have it to an extent, maybe, probably not. We'll see how it kind of goes. But anyway, getting a little bit of extra health back from parrying, I think, will also be a good thing that will keep me up. Can I at least, like, do this? Not even. Okay, well, I guess dodge game just has to be on point. At some point in time, you could have parried those guys. I kind of remember, sort of. I vaguely remember that happening at some point. I don't really know. Again, looking at the frame data for each individual enemy is amusing, if nothing else. Yeah, gotta watch out because you can't. There we go. Like I was trying to get the chain parry there. Chain parries will be definitely very useful. I mean, without something like the punishment or blood shields AoE sort of effect, having a... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if I just get that little bit of poison cloud on there too, that could be good. I mean, it could be good. We'll see how it actually kind of shakes out in the end. All right, all right. Yeah, shields have changed a whole lot. I mean, the ability to block wasn't even part of the original shield, and I remember way back in the day, I went back to the beginning. What am I even doing? And I remember way back in the day, you could actually have, like, shield breaches, where if an enemy was a certain level above the shield or a certain amount of stats or something, you could parry, and then the parry wouldn't even work. It's like it made shields really a kind of questionable take a lot of the time. These days, a lot better, so. But I would like to say that it's still kind of maybe a little bit underutilized by a lot of people, like myself included, not really feeling like I want to use shields too much just because the risk-reward can be so difficult to really justify trying to do that. There we go. You can at least destroy his... Yeah, you can at least parry his shockwave that he does at the end of the third 3-hit strike, the slashers here. So that's pretty useful. Also getting a surprising amount of use out of the freezing capabilities of this. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like I was actually just about to say, I do think that I should be using... Let's just watch out there a little bit. There we are. And that's good. Can't use my dive attack on enemies because this is a single weapon run, and that's technically considered a weapon in my mind. Yeah, it could be worth it in the future to maybe try to use shields a little bit more, because clearly it's not going too bad right now. To maybe try to set up more synergistic stuff. I mean, not only do you get from shields survival, which is a lot of extra health, as well as potentially, you know, damage reduction, which I usually like a lot. It's like the ability to set enemies, to you know, inflict enemies with poison or set enemies on fire. It's just like very extremely useful, and I do sometimes use slots that could equipment slots that could be very well used for other more damaging type items, while also having a shield for like damage reduction. You know what I gotta do is I gotta like just sit down and do like a full week of shield only runs. Because as you can see right now, with the fact that I'm just absolutely crushing every single enemy that dares come into my path, it's just like they're pretty good. It's just, it really is just the malaise thing. I mean, I kind of, ooh, take that. Kind of postulated before about maybe having like a change to shields where if you're holding them up and you get hit, you're able to get a, I don't know, some sort of partial malaise, something that, sure. I got 14 survival right now, I'm doing fine. You know, like maybe like build up a malaise meter that gets filled or something rather than just instantly giving you a point of malaise when you get hit. That sort of thing, just something. I mean, of course, you know, for me, it's just like, yeah, it's all about on 4-cell mode. I can understand that if you're somebody that just like likes rolling on 3-cell mode, so you don't even have to worry about that. But you know, I don't know. For me, I'm just thinking that I would just like these sort of runs to be a bit more viable when it comes to when it comes to doing 4-cell mode. That's the real thing. Because there are definitely a lot of... that's the thing with 4-cell mode, and I think I even had somebody point that out in one of the comments for the last videos, that it's like, you know, they like rolling on 3-cell mode because 4-cell mode shuts down a lot of really gimmicky or weird, you know, fun builds. And I do kind of agree with that. There are just some things that are not nearly as good when it comes to rolling on 4-cell mode as opposed to a lot of other stuff. Some things that are way better. And some things that might seem like they're better, but vampirism. But, you know, they're just ultimately kind of there. I mean, I'll never turn down damage reduction when I can use it. I'll say that right now, but I don't know. I suppose we'll have to kind of see when it comes to having the new balance patch that Motion Twin has been teasing for a little while finally coming out. All right, then. I mean, if he doesn't want to do anything, I won't make him. Oh, those things attack so fast. If there's one thing that I have no idea what to... and run invalidated a second time. If there's one thing that I don't know how to parry well, it's the little slimelings. Everything else, I feel like I got enough. The freezing is just completely ruining the whole parry chain thing that I was trying to... that I keep trying to set up, and mostly I'm setting up, but then it doesn't work. Oh well, it's not a big deal. It's just for extra style points, man. I don't really necessarily need to. I hate those slimelings. But anyway, you know, ossuary's maybe not the best place to go for a shield-focused run, if only due to those guys. Well, I mean, it's not shield-focused. If it was shield-focused, I'd be totally fine. This is shield-only. Big difference. Okay. Ugh. It's rough, but they are just... the AoE is just small enough that you can maneuver your way ever so slightly through them. With difficulty, certainly, but it's not too bad. Nope. I was honestly getting a little bit... yeah. I was honestly getting a little bit cocky because of the amount of... like, the huge startup on the animation for the spinners, but then once they actually go into the spinning, it's like lickety-split, like one frame after that animation actually goes. So I was getting a little bit cocky insofar as trying to get parries on those guys. Give me... what is it? 78 health is really not that much. It should be like 200 health or something. Oh, well, yeah, balance patch. Still waiting to see what that is. Alright, Concierge. Pretty easy fight if I can get him in the proper... what would you call it? Rhythm. If I get him in the proper pattern going on here. Which is to say, get him to kind of force me in the corner here. Force me in the spotlight. And then I just parry endlessly. Did a very similar sort of thing in the... oh, screwed it up. Screwed it up a second time. Alright, fine. No, come on. A very similar sort of thing in the Rampart run. And if I can get the parry proper here, it's just infinite damage because he won't use his damage barrier if I'm too close to him. And obviously, if he just keeps walking towards me, I'm never going to be too far away. So we just do this waltz. Over and over. Yeah, I actually managed to, like, wait long enough to get the heal off of Parry back up, which is kind of surprising. Almost done. Almost done. There we are. Yeah, the big thing with doing a shield-focused E-type run is that you do have to wait for an enemy to actually attack you, which makes it, you know, a little bit more passive of gameplay, but if you are active enough, if you're running around and everything like that, you can usually still be pretty quick. I mean, obviously one of the big things with this game, as with a lot of your Castlevania-y type things, is that you're able to bypass a lot of enemies through, whether it's through good play or just kind of having a plan. So you can still at least keep kind of quick. Not the case when you're fighting a boss. Yeah, sure, I'll go up here. There's some fun parrying things to do up in the Slumbering Sanctuary. Yeah, not the case when you're fighting a boss. You're locked in a room, you gotta fight that boss. And that can be quite a difficult sort of situation depending on what sort of thing you're doing. Because some enemies are going to be attacking a little bit more than others. I would like to say that pretty much every enemy in the game is going to be attacking enough that that's not going to be an issue. Something like the Timekeeper coming up will be absolutely no problem. Oh, that's so little damage. Even with Spiteful, eh? But, yeah, something like Timekeeper will be no problem. She will... She will be doing tons and tons of damage to herself just every single time she throws a shuriken. And then aside from that, just gonna have to worry about the Hand of the King, which... he attacks pretty often. I don't know. I guess... I'm going to be honest, I am a little bit worried about that, because there is going to be enough sort of potential issues coming up here. Yeah, mid-air roll. I guess I'll just have to see as the time comes. That's really all you can do, isn't it? Oh. Really? Well, whatever. The grenade alone will take him out. I'm kind of surprised that he was able to survive more than a couple hits there. Guess I've got to be looking at maybe grab. The immediate thought that comes to mind is maybe I should go to the. I didn't get the parry there, so it didn't reset him. But maybe I should go to the Sepulcher because it feels like I might be a little bit low on stats as of right now, which would be an issue. Oh, this is going to be obnoxious. Because I got to do this now. Okay. There we go. Not the best, but I should have a food shop in here. Or is that 2-cell mode? I don't actually remember right now. Hey, let me in here. Do you have a food shop in there? I understand. I'm not happy about it, but I understand. Come on, do it. Do it. There we go. At least taking those guys out pretty easy. What am I actually doing for damage? 2620. If I was getting the 300% on there, that would be amazing. But, you know, also, I'm pretty sure that's only for the... of course. I'm pretty sure that's only for the frontline shield. Couldn't drop down fast enough. I mean, the thing is, normally in that case, what I would have done is just do a dive attack downwards, but not part of the run. That seems like a pretty questionable play. If I was earlier in the run, maybe I would have gone for the Curse Chest, but it feels like as of right now, I'm starting to get hit a lot more consistently, and that just would spell my doom if I decided to be so stupid as to... Wow, that was a really good hit. If I decided to be so stupid as to take a curse right now. Obviously, defenders not helping either. I mean, that's also asking for trouble insofar as hopping onto Curse Land goes. Apparently the way I'm now going to describe getting cursed. No, I've seen this before. Alright, what do we got here? Man, I forget how much little money you get on lower cell modes. I mean, by this point I would have like 200,000 or something. Even after buying a bunch of stuff and upgrading everything, re-rolling things too. If I was on 4-cell right now. Oh well. Not a big deal, but still. But that's it? What is with the no enemies in this entire area here? Oh, yeah, okay. So there is no food shop in 1-cell. It's 2-cell door then, which probably has it, if I'm correct, which I do not remember. Well, at least I would like to say that overall this is going pretty good. I mean, This is a very basic, very simple sort of shield, but it does have pretty good damage output when put to the test, so I'll say that. I mean, who knew that just adding... I mean, essentially it's just adding a spike to the front of the knockback shield could possibly be so effective. They share, like, everything absolutely similar. It just... This one has a gigantic spike on it. Give me an upgrade. Sure. I mean, I guess? I don't know. Oh, well, depending on what this is, could be... Okay, this is not bad at all. Especially with that. Over, now's a good time to just sit in the corner and hold up the shield. Okay, good. Nope, and nope. Unfortunate, because it seemed like some of that stuff was actually pretty good, but yeah. And for some reason, you can't just, like, force the spike into enemies. For example, doing this little... No, nothing. Okay. Ooh, and that actually did enough damage to kill him. Okay, now we cooking with gas. I think I am going to go to the Sepulcher just because I do want the chance at a lot more scrolls as of right now. Hey, this you get health forever when it comes to using survival, so I might as well get as much of that as I possibly can. See if I can go grab up to, 30 survival or something. Poisons? Yeah, sure. That's actually good enough. Oh, okay. I think it's actually going much better right now. I suppose we'll see. We'll see in the future. Hopefully I can get up to at least like 25 survival. I think that's going to be the number one thing to look for. Maybe they could actually at some point in time. Oh, you know what would be a good thing? I actually just saw the assault shield there. And I've talked about this a little bit more. I've talked about this a little bit before, but having sets for items. Whether it's, like Blood Sword, Blood Shield, or the Hayabusa Gauntlets and Hayabusa Boots. Spike Shield plus Assault Shield could be pretty interesting. Just make it so it's an Assault Shield with a spike on the front. And now it does, I don't know, like 5,000 times damage when you run into an enemy or something. Well, both of these are completely useless to me. I'd like it for the money, but again, due to the constraints of the single weapon run, cannot do that. But aside from that, the fact that I was able to get the time door is pretty good. And yeah. I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I was prior to coming in here. However, seeing that shocker is making my confidence go down even more. Let's go. Okay. Can't do the slam down because I might hit an enemy. And yes, I know, run already been invalidated twice. But that doesn't mean that I can't, stop it from being invalidated any more than it is. As if invalidated is not a word that is just either active or not active, essentially. Okay, there we go. Again, another good time to just hold up the shield. Yeah, I'm surprisingly enough enemies are taking enough damage. Wow, that word just did not come out of my mouth. Parries are a little bit different when it comes to elites, as you would expect. So I think again, I was just saying, I can hold stuff up now. Okay, cool. I can hold stuff up now, and I think I should be taking little enough damage that it'll be totally fine. And then I can get back most of my health by just using my... You know what? It may actually be even worth it now to instead go and get the necromancy, which just heals you upon an enemy dying, and then just see if I can sit in the corner, have enemies kill themselves on me, and then not pretty much the same sort of thing that I was looking at maybe doing with this shield that I'm looking at right now, the frontline shield. Could be a little bit of a useful tactic, something that I didn't really try out last time I was doing this sort of thing. Here, let's take a look. So 170 to 200 damage taken there. And then what am I actually getting healed? 238 from Parry. Oh, come on. It's not bad. I mean, I don't know if it's a very sustainable sort of lifestyle that I'm living here, but it's also, like, sustainable enough. I would really, however, like to instead get rid of the shoots a grenade out with the shield. I think that's maybe screwing up a lot of the potential synergies that I might be having going on here, which is maybe a little frustrating to me. Ooh, another good one would be, another good set bonus to have would be spiked boots and spiked shield. Make it so that attacking with your boot also uses the shield at the same time. Or maybe you'll just leave spikes on the ground. Just go something extremely silly like that. Caltrops just left everywhere. What do we got? I'm not entirely sure where I'm going here. There's a lot of good options. Oh, yes, and something that I was going to try out was... I had somebody tell me in the comments for the... that, and then do this. Hey, there's the enemy I was talking about. Throw your thing. Oh, this is just horrible. Okay. Oh. It's what you kind of expect with this sort of thing, though. It's just like that. Yes, I had someone tell me about the assault shield, that there is also another glitch that I should be trying out right now, which is double pickup of a key if you use your homunculus rune, and at the same time apparently try to grab the key, you can get it doubled up. There. Man. Yeah, this is why you do it on one cell mode. I would have been dead 10 times over. Oh, come on. Would have been dead 10 times over otherwise. Yeah, so number one thing is probably going to be try to get rid of the throws out a grenade, because that is clearly not doing me any favors right now and preventing a lot of good parries and synergistic parry type stuff from occurring. Get out of here. I mean, I'll take the money, sir. Alright, so what do we got? Looks like it's way far away, which is a little unfortunate, but hey, that's kind of how it goes. Well, at least I'm getting quite a bit of damage out of the Spiteful, which could also be quite useful for the hand fight. I mean, he does throw down a whole lot of grenades at some point in time. Ugh. Hate it. Hate it so much. Why can't you parry those guys? Like I said, you could do it at one point in time. I remember that. I might be remembering incorrectly, but that doesn't mean that I don't remember it. And... well, okay. Not quite what I was expecting, but sure, that's fine. Good thing I didn't land on an enemy there. And there, getting 3 parries chained together there, getting into near full health. It's unfortunate that I don't think that the parry heal works on ranged enemies. Of course, my mind has been elsewhere for the run, but I should actually look at that next time it happens. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, though. Could get a whole lot of... alright, let's do this. Could get a whole lot of healing off that. Nope, didn't get it. I think that's how it works, but I'm not entirely sure. There might be something a little bit more advanced related to that sort of technique, but I gave it an attempt. I suppose in the castle, that's the next time I can do that. Getting 2 keys there would be, well, it would be pretty cheesy, but think of it as a one-time sort of thing, just to see... no, it definitely does not heal. Okay, think of it as a one-time sort of thing, just to see kind of how exactly it works. I might die here from darkness, which is going to be which is going to make me very sad. Okay, good. Not going to say that wasn't close, though. Alright, like I said. Timekeeper fight, no problem at all. She's got a lot of projectiles in her... She's got a lot of projectiles in the form of her shuriken, which Spiteful is going to give me a lot of damage with. Launches a grenade, shoots an arrow, launches a grenade. I just cannot get rid of it. Okay, well. That's that then, I guess. Well, at least it freezes enemies blocked with a parry. That's pretty nice. That will definitely help. Actually, it might not help at all because of making things more questionable, making hitboxes, attacks a little bit harder to predict. It's always the give and take when it comes to using those. I'm pretty bad at getting the parry timing for her hits, though. Getting the parry timing for that, though, isn't bad at all. Well, hey, you know what? No time like the present to learn it. It's actually worth just getting hit by her there so I can get a little bit of extra damage from a pretty predictable... Damn. Getting a pretty predictable sort of hit from that. Also doesn't do too much damage in general, so... And I just was saying, it's like, I'm going to try to get hit by that, and yet I didn't at all. Ooh. And there we are. Yeah, Spiteful, if there's one place to really use that, it's right here. Oh, come on, I had that. There we go. You know, it's that muscle memory kicking in. It's that muscle memory kicking in where I keep parrying stuff regardless of if it's benefiting me or not. And as you can see, it's still continuing. Oh no, this is a good time for damage. It's still happening. Here, how about this then? Yeah, that's what you get. Blood Sword, interesting, but not really one that I'm looking for right now. Also, literally cannot use it due to the constraints of the run, but you know, hey, that's... It's still there. It still probably would have been pretty good. Pretty easy to get like a bleed propagation on there. Would have been really nice. Can I try you? Okay, but it's like 50% less damage, so... Well, worst comes to worst, that might be an okay secondary option if I'm thinking that, hey, the grenade's gonna screw it up. So maybe I can instead parry with the other shield? Kind of a questionable play, but hey. Yeah, there's no double tapping with this thing. That's the best I can do. There we are. At least Lancers. And I would say for the most part, I'm not going to try it, but Guardian Knights are pretty easy to parry. We'll see how much play that gets. Of course, I would almost say number one thing that I'm looking for right now is an upgrade to my... Hi. Oh, I had that. What are you talking about? Okay, let's see if I can do it this time. No. Oh well. Let's just say I don't know how it works, and leave it at that. Let me back up to full health here, and we're good. Maybe the key has to actually be on you. That'd be something to look at next time in the next area that I go to. Oh, this is a nice short castle. Like, huh. All right then, cool. I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed with that. What was that? There we are. And... full health. Good. Wait, full health, right? Yeah. I'm good. Alright, so one more thing, and then I guess finish up the run. A surprisingly quick one. There we go. Yeah, I just said that I wasn't going to do that, but I wanted to at least prove to you that I knew what the timing was. Look, it was an important point of pride. Let's just say that. Run invalidated times 3. I forgot that they like to put an enemy down there for reasons that I still do not understand. Took him a second, didn't it? Anyway, okay, come on. Anything else? This is not really the ideal thing, especially because I can't really just hold up my shield due to the malaise that they would be inflicting. But, hey, if worst comes to worst, that's still an option. I still have the heart on me, after all. Okay, good chain parry. See if I can get the same thing to be done here. And they can't really roll behind me if I got in the corner. Oh. Now we're just going to do that. I don't care about malaise because I'm not going to be getting hit by any more malaise at this point. Okay. It could be worth going for a couple more parries just for the healing, but... Oh, I can't even believe I got the parry for that one. That's... Okay. Just need to get to a teleporter, get out of here, and we're good. We're gravy. Managed to get up to 25 survival, exactly what I was looking for. So that's great. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I also forgot to try the key duplication thing again. Well, whatever. There's... trust me, there will be more Dead Cells runs. Be plenty more times to attempt that in every way possible. All right, healing feels like it might be a little bit questionable here. 315 is not that much. I don't know. Is there anything better? Obviously, there's extra damage, but I don't know if that's going to apply if I don't have any sort of extra anything. So I guess it's kind of the best option right now, aside from maybe going for extra health or tough nut or something. You know, just to kind of make sure that I don't die from falling into spikes. Well, let's see. Let's see just how good I can do parrying against what is one of the more difficult enemies in the game. To put it lightly. Okay, now if I just do a regular hit here, because I can never parry that thing well. It actually worked out okay. Okay, that worked out less okay. All right. Well, at least that parry got me a little bit of... Ugh. Okay, so... things are maybe not going amazing. There's the right parry. But look, as soon as I get into the next phase, that's when the parries become a lot more consistent for me. Come on. It's like one more hit should put him in the next phase. And of course, it's like every... There we go. That should be it? Yeah, okay. Oh, man, I tell you. Okay, that's not great damage, but it's not terrible. It's getting worse over time. Well... Oh, who could have seen that coming? I'll be back for a 4-cell run.